All right, guys, we're back. Today we're going to be talking to Lisa about the preparation of a dal masala with okras. We're talking food today, and we are going over now to Lisa. Lisa, hello.
Hi. Oh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
So, what are going on today? What are we cooking today?
So tonight is my night to do dinner. We have a schedule, and tonight's my night. So, yesterday we had a pretty rich meal. So tonight I wanted to have something that was a little bit lighter.
Okay.
Um, sometimes when you eat something that's really rich and flavorful and um, packs a punch, you want something probably the next day to kind of level off and come back to the baseline. And what I chose to make today was, now I purchase things that are in season. So because we live in a place with seasons, we tend to eat things that are available in each season because that's when they're freshest, right? Instead
Right.
of having things flown all over the place. So I found some okra in the store, and I love okra. And I was going to do another preparation, but Sherry has gotten an Instapot, and she's been using that Instapot. And the Instapot is great for Indian cooking because
Right.
it contains all of the smells and also seals in the flavor
Right.
of all of the spices. So I chose dal because that's really nourishing and energizing, while at the same time being calming on the stomach. And for me, it's just kind of like a zen food. It
Okay.
just chills you out. It
All
doesn't
right.
make you feel full afterwards. This is going to be a vegetarian meal.
Okay.
So we're gonna have dal, and I already got that started in Instapot. I'll tell you how I did that. And we're also going to have the okra, and the okra, I've never made it this way before. And okra is really tricky in that it gets a little bit slimy, and I don't particularly like the sliminess of it. So
Right.
there are a couple of tips that I read about that are good to reduce the slime factor. And just really quickly, what they are is to dry the okra really well when you wash them, so that when you actually cook them, you're not adding additional water to the pot that will then allow the okra to steam and get mushy. We're
Right.
going for more of like a crunchy, fresh type of mouthfeel.
Okay.
So another thing is not to add salt to the okra until the very, very end, because that will pull the water out of the membranes and allow it to kind of pool on the skin, which then again steams when you try to cook it.
Right.
So I have going already the dal, and what I did was I just ground some cumin seeds in the Instapot, and grounding them meaning I just cooked them for like a minute and waited for them to pop. And I hear them popping, and then I added some ground spices. So I added some turmeric, some chili powder, and this is Kashmiri chili powder. Which, funny story, I was doing a recipe the other day, and I had never used Kashmiri chili powder before, and I thought, oh, it's chili powder, it's not a big deal, it won't be that spicy.
Right.
It was really spicy. I used 2 teaspoons of it, and it was way too hot. I had to, luckily, I was making a sauce, yogurt sauce, and I had to remove half of the sauce and then add more yogurt to it because it was that hot. It was like that time when you made the ghost chili. It was the ghost chili, the purple pepper.
Yes.
You remember that? The
Yes.
purple pepper fried rice?
Yes. 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 The purple pepper fried rice is the right title for that.
That fried rice was
Super
good,
hot.
but it was really hot.
Yeah, super hot.
So hold on one second. Lola is scratching. So I'm
Okay. Okay. So yeah, we're talking to Lisa about dal and okras today. So should be interesting. Um, it's interesting that yesterday they had a different kind of meal, and today she opted to do something a little bit lighter just to kind of balance out the, I guess the density of the dish yesterday. So yeah. So Lisa,
Yeah.
back to you.
So we're back to the dal. So I added to that the Kashmiri chili, and some ginger and garlic,
Mm,
and um, curry leaves. So
mhm,
curry leaves are these really aromatic leaves that look like that. Looks like a lime leaf almost, but near.
mhm,
And once you saute this in a little bit of oil, it imparts the flavor, and
mhm,
you can smell it. There's nothing like it. It just has a really distinctive smell, very herby,
mhm,
kind of herbaceous. Of course, it's a
mhm,
leaf,
mhm.
but earthy too. A little
Right,
bit of citrus note, a little bit of
right,
nuts on the citrus end
right.
too. So then I just put my chana dal, the yellow dal,
Mhm,
like split peas,
mhm,
in my Instapot,
right.
and added some tomatoes for a little bit more richness
Mhm.
and vegetable kind of flavor.
Is it done?
And I think it may be done. So I'm gonna.
Can you do me a favor as well? Can you turn? I mean, is somebody else there listening to the music in the background?
No, I can turn it off. You want me to turn it off?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that would be. Or yeah, it would be better.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're just joining us, we are talking dal and okras today with Lisa. She's gonna do a simple preparation for dinner today, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. For however long you do decide to tune in, thank you. I appreciate it. So we're talking food today, and Lisa has some dal going in her Instapot. So she just stepped off stage or off screen for a second. So she'll be right back. What are you guys eating today? What did I have today? I had fried dumplings earlier, and I had um, liver.
Right.
That was for my.
Sherry, can you come and tell me if I can safely open this? So the Instapot is still new to me, and I'm not exactly sure if I can open it.
Mhm.
If all of the pressure has been gone, so I rely on Sherry to let me know when it's ready. Down. No, it's not. It said it would take 10 minutes. No, that's 10 minutes natural release. Now, after it's 10 minutes natural release, do you then release the pressure regular? Hello. Oh, okay. If it's
Hi,
only
hi,
10 minutes
Sherry.
natural release, then you have to release it yourself after that. But what does the recipe say? 10 minutes natural release. And then what it say you must do after that? Then you open it. No, you can't open it. Okay, let the pressure release naturally. This will take about 10 minutes, is what it says. Then you can't actually open it yet. It should take 10 minutes. It does say natural release for 10 minutes. It said it
But
should take 10 minutes. So you
is
have to wait. So I'll show you. Well, it's kind of hard for you to explain it to us, Sherry. So pressure cooking, you see? It builds up a lot of steam on the inside. And then what it does is pushes a valve up. And based on the science of the cooking, you can either release immediately, or I release immediately manually, or just let it naturally release. So if the recipe says naturally release, you just have to leave it until it falls down. So 23 minutes have gone and this hasn't released yet.
Can you help it release?
Before. After 23 minutes, you only just have like a little bit. So I just released it manually there now. And it falls down. So let's just wait a second so you can see it falling down so you know what it is. Oh, it just fell down. Okay. Yay! That's what. So now I can open
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry. And show you, wait, opposite thing that I have going on. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Good.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to put you back over here on the stand so that you can.
Okay.
I can. Do some stirring.
Another upside of having a light dinner is that we can have this big chunk of Maytag blue cheese from Iowa with cherries for dessert.
Nice. Nice.
So the peas, the split peas are still holding here, so I'm going to have to blitz them with the Immersion Blender.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit more salt.
We're going to have chickpeas splattered all over the camera.
No, I'm safe with my Immersion Blender.
Oh, okay.
So the Immersion Blender is a really good tool, but you have to be very careful, especially if you're handling things that were just steaming or are piping hot. I'm going to get the Immersion Blender and come back and show you.
Okay. Immersion Blender. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in, even if you stay for a minute or even less or more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're here with Lisa and we're talking about a dal masala with okras.
All right, so here's my Immersion Blender. So I'm just going to put it in here and blend it. So the dal is kind of a little bit bland. Can you do be a taste tester, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
And just, I'm gonna blend it first, and then you can taste it.
So what's the difference between like an immersion blender and just using a spoon to do it?
I could have poured this into a blender, a regular blender, and blended it up.
But then you don't have to pour hot liquid into a blender.
Oh, it's like so it acts like a blender. Okay.
Yeah.
But, okay.
If there's a blade on the bottom here.
Okay. So it actually chops stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it's chopping the chana dal. So I like it to have a little bit of texture still. So it looks pretty good.
Yes, that looks good.
It's pretty tasty. There's a little bit of heat.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needs some more salt, but we'll ask Andy. Yeah, it's a little bit spicy. Sometimes I go overboard on the spice.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes I underestimate the peppers here.
It's like Kashmiri red chili, man. It just
Like sometimes they're not so hot, and sometimes they're like straight fire.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's kind of check, but it's not too spicy.
Some salt, huh?
Yeah, a little salt.
I'm gonna add a bit more salt here.
Okay. Kind of salt to use? Sea salt?
I think this is
Kosher
kosher
salt.
kosher salt.
Okay.
Okay, try it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I think I may need to, let me see. So what I was thinking about doing with this is also, there's a way to, it's called tempering or chunking. The Trinidadians call it chunking, where you fry some spices in oil and then pour that on top of the dal, which is just kind of like a flavor punch, right?
Right.
I don't think I need to do that here.
Okay.
I think it's flavorful enough because I put all the spices in there.
Mm.
I don't know what Harrison is doing. He's going like a little crab with his step like.
Is he coming to help?
Here comes Rams. Can you be my taste?
Hello.
Say hi to Auntie Allison. Not with these. It's spicy.
I like spice.
Oh, that's a little too spicy for Harrison.
Why is it too spicy?
Because it's peppery.
Why is it pepper?
Here, try this. No, so Harrison likes to eat things off of the counter. So now he's eating a mustard seed. How is that mustard seed? It's good. Tell Auntie Allison what you were eating earlier. A banana.
What?
You have to speak up so she can hear you.
Banana.
Huh?
A banana?
A banana.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
what
Now
was
I can hear
cutting
you.
up? What was I cutting up and you ate that?
Okra.
Oh, you had okra. Do you like it?
Did you like it? Okay. Well, what you guys do? So people eat cumin seeds to freshen their breath, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How yummy.
Is it yummy? Okay.
Mark.
Okay, so this is turmeric and this is chili powder. So remember I said you have to ask?
You may have turmeric and chili powder.
You want turmeric and chili powder? Here, I'm going to give you a little bit of turmeric. It's your favorite? So that is a fish patata. And that is not very tasty. I know that tastes not good, right?
That's my favorite.
It's your favorite too? He's never said anything tastes bad, ever.
Really? Not at all?
He's never said that he doesn't really. He'll not eat something, but
Can I have
what?
some of that?
Okay, this is very spicy. This is chili. This is also chili, very spicy. You don't want to eat that by itself. So he's looking at.
Oh no! Oh, you don't want no.
Okay, that's top of the spices. We're putting all of these spices. They're all needed for the cooking. All right. So I'm going to walk Allison through the okra cooking right now. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get a pan going on the stove.
Okay.
And I'm going here on this plate. I have mustard seeds, which is what Harrison was just eating. Hing, which is the asafoetida, and it's like it's the gum of a plant that's extracted and then dried. If you smell it, it smells a little bit like turmeric actually, but more woody. Yes. And it is not something that you would want to have on its own. It enhances the flavor of other spices though, specifically the turmeric. I've also got here cumin seed.
Right.
That Kashmiri chili, which I'm going to reduce by half from what I've learned with the dal.
Yes.
And I have some more of those curry leaves.
Curry leaves, right?
Yeah. And then I'm going to put these whole chili peppers. I'm not going to cut these up. I'm just going to put them.
Why?
I just want the flavor. I don't want the heat because we already have the Kashmiri chili powder in here.
Okay.
Just want the flavor. And once I break these peppers open, the seeds, the membrane inside is what holds the heat, just like Scotch bonnet. So if you put like a whole Scotch bonnet in something, it will impart the flavor, but not the heat, as long as it don't burst in whatever you make it.
Right.
So I have some oil going on the stove, and then I'm going to add these spices. I'm going to bring you over there.
Okay.
And as is often times, I turn on the wrong burner. So we'll start from scratch over here. So I have this really deep bottom pan here. Try to fix you guys. And it just has some vegetable oil in there.
Okay.
Going to heat this up. I want to show you the okra that I just cut up into little rounds. See? I cut the tops off and then I cut it up into little rounds.
Right.
And like I said, I made sure that I dried everything, dried each of them individually.
Right.
And I haven't added any salt to them.
Okay.
So just waiting for this to heat up. So what do you like to cook?
I find that I've been experimenting. Well, I wouldn't say experimenting, but I did some. I've been out of chicken lately.
Chicken?
So like for tomorrow, I have some chicken cut up small that I probably just brown stew, and fish. I can make some fish, and
So are you mostly liking stews in terms of how do you prepare the food that you like to cook? Is there a particular way that you use to prepare it, or that you like?
Well, once I put in the basic seasonings, like the onions and the garlic, maybe some ginger, scallion, thyme, and that's the basis of all my meals. Those basic seasonings, and then after that, when it starts to cook is when, unless I'm making like curry, that's I start to get creative with the direction where I want to take it. Um, but it's not as my methods are very basic, very simple. But I do like to season up and leave overnight if possible.
Yeah, the marinating. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I like to marinate for a while, so that is where I guess the flavor would come out.
Mm-hmm.
Look who it
It's
is!
funny.
It's Kadeen. She
Hi,
says
Kadeen. Kadeen, tell us what your favorite thing is to make. Kadeen, do you cook? You cook, and what do you like to make?
All right, so until she responds, then
Yeah.
um,
Until she
but
responds. Go ahead.
until she responds. But yeah, thank you for joining us, Kadeen. I appreciate it. So, yeah, it's really just now that I'm getting into like different kinds of preparation, and
Yeah.
I'm really, I'm just really starting from the ground up with my culinary tastes right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to get you settled back over here.
Okay. You're still hearing the wind in my microphone, or you're hearing me clearly?
No, I'm hearing you clearly.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to put here is the little mustard seeds. And the thing with the mustard seeds is that once they hit the oil, they're going to start popping. So you want to be really careful to just not have your face over the oil.
Right.
And then I've done the asafoetida, mustard seeds, cumin. I'm gonna pass on the bulk of the Kashmiri chili powder that I have here. I'm gonna add some turmeric, about half, as I said, of the
Mm-hmm.
Kashmiri chili,
Mm-hmm.
and just reserve the curry leaves for now
Mm-hmm.
and the chilies for now.
Oh, Kadeen has commented. She says she's currently in the kitchen making Saturday soup.
Ah, nice. Yes, it is Saturday, and soup is really what we'd normally be having. True. What is in your soup, Kadeen?
Yeah. 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 What's in the soup? What's in the soup? What kind of soup?
So to this, I'm going to add just about half a cup or three quarters of a cup of onions.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, with the okra, I try to be really delicate with it because the longer you cook it,
Mm.
the slimier it gets.
Right.
And also, too, it has to do with the freshness of the okra. And I don't really know how fresh my okra is. It looks good, but
Mm-hmm.
it came prepackaged, so I don't really know exactly how fresh it is.
Okay.
So now I'm going to add some garlic.
Mm-hmm.
And the other tip that I read about with the okra is when you put it in the pot, which I'm about to do,
Mm-hmm.
not to stir it, but
Oh, okay.
to use the pot to incorporate it like this.
Mm.
I'm going to put these chilies and the curry leaves in here now.
Okay. So the difference between using the pot to incorporate it as you were shaking it versus using your spoon and stirring it around. What is the impact like? What does the impact do to it or something like that? What?
The main thing that I can think of is that what I can see myself using this spatula to move things around, but it
Right.
breaks things down because it's touching them, right?
Right.
And if I pierce the skin of the okra, then I'm allowing a space for the moisture to come out.
Yeah.
Whereas if I go like this, it just doesn't have as much of a abrasive um, quality to the action.
Right.
So I'm going to get my okra now.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. I'm just going to put this okra on top of my bed of onions.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, as the production grows, we're gonna have cameras looking into your pot and over your cutting station and
Oops.
all of that.
Clearly, I'm
You're
not
waiting.
connected to catch the food. So we lost some okra, but I got them back.
Yes.
So here, I'm just going to shift it around, but not too much because I don't need to. I just put it in the pot, so it doesn't need to be moved around as much
Mm-hmm.
at this point.
Okay.
And I'll just show you what it looks like here.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Yep. So we've got that going. And I'm just using my spatula to my flat-ended spoon scooper thing to move the seasonings down the sides.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not adding any liquid to this. There's a lot of liquid in the okra.
Right. Oh, just an insert. Kadeen says it's chicken and chicken foot soup with yam, cocoa,
Yeah.
Irish potato, pumpkin, and carrots.
Wow. So, the thing with the soups, I'm not a big, I don't, without the packaged soup like Grace or Maggie, the
Right.
hot soup or the chicken noodle soup, I don't know. I'm not so great at flavoring the soup. So I wonder if Kadeen is going to be using one of those seasoning packets to make the soup more flavorful and rich.
Tell me now, Kadeen. Talk to us. Yes.
All right. So now I'm cheating. You already see me doing what I said I wasn't going to do because I'm a little bit impatient, which is to move it around with a spatula. And I'm
Hi,
just going
hi.
to. What's happened? The neighbors are
Yeah,
having party.
no man, they're just playing.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just moving it around a little bit more. And I can see already the little bits of, what would we call it? I don't want to use the word, that connective liquid. Here, let
Mm-hmm.
me show you. Coming out now.
The slime.
I didn't want to say slime. The
That's what
slimy part of this thing. So I'm just going to leave this because if I stand over here and I'll keep messing with it.
right.
So I'm gonna move and bring you back over here.
Okay.
So what I'm going to be serving this with is some white rice and of course the dal and just this okra on the side, and that would be dinner.
Okay. And any drink selections, special drink selections this evening?
For me, no. I'm not sure what Andy's serving along with, because he usually pairs um, with the meal, but I don't know what he'll be he'll be opening tonight. I'll ask him when he comes back out. Harrison's
Okay.
kind of having a bit of a meltdown right now. I don't know what happened.
No, it happens. It happens.
So what are you making for dinner tomorrow?
I'm doing a brown stew chicken with a,
Oh
I
yeah,
would call it a little honey brown stew chicken.
honey brown stew chicken.
Yeah, I would call honey brown stew
Nice.
chicken. So that's gonna be interesting. Mommy usually makes the rice and peas as
Yeah, so rice and peas is good.
yeah. It's like you can't really beat that.
So that's the rice cooker. Hold on. Rice is done. And I'm going to turn this guy off. The okra, turning it off. And just mixing this in a little bit. I'm going to taste it. I am going to add a little bit of ghee.
Ghee? What is ghee?
Clarified. Ghee is clarified butter.
Clarified butter, as in it's transparent?
Yeah. It's sorry. Clarified. Yeah, it's clarified butter. Yeah. It's like the butter without all of the milk solids.
Okay.
So with my flame off, I'm adding a little bit of clarified butter. And now I'm going to add the salt.
Okay. I think maybe one day we should do a yoga meditation demonstration as well, Lisa.
Yeah.
That was interesting. So Lisa is a
that would be great actually, because I've been wanting to do a meditation video. So that would be good.
So once this is done and it's processed, I guess you can just post the link to your page and people can watch.
Yeah.
There. So your usual Saturday thing that you or your weekend cooking that you would do, it would have been this that you're making now?
Yes.
Okay.
It would have been this. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you also wanted to talk about Caribbean foodways, which is
yes.
yeah.
So tell us more about this idea of yours for Caribbean foodways.
So food has always been a passion of mine. I really enjoy learning about food and learning how food ties into culture. Like, I think that if you go to a place, you can learn fastest about the culture by trying the food. And I haven't read a lot about, I'm not sure if there's a lot out there. I've looked, it doesn't seem to be a lot out there about Caribbean foodways. Like, how did our food become our food? Of course, we know the basics, that a lot of this food came from Africa, a lot of the spices came from India, a lot of the preparation for our food came from, like the Arawaks. Jerk is from the Arawaks and how they used to prepare meat.
Right.
And I love learning about that stuff. It tells me a lot about my ancestors, my history, I love learning through the lens of food.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be an ongoing project for me. I'll continue to research, write, hopefully present videos on the topic, perhaps a podcast, interviews of people who are keeping our traditions alive. That is of great interest to me too. That's really the one of the main reasons why, or the second main reason that I want to do this is to keep our traditions alive. Because in our world of like fast cooking, fast food, all that's great, but still there's a lot to learn from the old ways of doing things. And one person that I find really inspirational is this guy called Michael Twitty, and he studies he's an African American food scholar, and he wrote this amazing book tracing the food, the travel, the just how food came from Africa to the United States through the knowledge of the people, the slaves, and how those foods inform who African Americans are, right? And he cooks meals that are made like they were in the 1800s, you know, using the same pots, the same utensils, the same, you know, type of spoons. He collects these things and he prepares meals in this way, and it really gives you an appreciation for how people used to live.
Right.
You know,
right.
You have to catch up your fire. In Jamaica, we still do this where you catch up your fire and you cook. But what if you have to grind things like this dal that I just made? That has to be dried and then split. There's a preparation to that, and I don't want to lose sight of that. And I would love to be able to continue to learn about that and offer and share what I've learned to others.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is definitely one of the places where you can do that. So I look forward to sharing and observing your preparations in future.
Yes.
So would you say that you're basically finished with your thing?
Yes, everything's finished. So I'd like to plate everything up and show you what that looks like. So give me one sec.
Okay. So we're talking about dal and okras today. So we're just waiting on Lisa to get her plates and bowls together for final presentation. And yeah, look out for her content, more of her content around Caribbean food, all Caribbean foodways. And she'll definitely be making her rounds on this channel and other channels. So, look out for that. Thank you very much for joining and watching and listening. The whole point of... Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just trying to explain, while you were doing your thing until you were ready. I was just explaining that I am doing more. I'm trying to do more documenting because there's a difference between making and documenting. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to mix up the two, and this is one of the things. So yeah, interested in food, and I know that people in my family are big on food and the preparation and the backstory and all of that. Food and drink, you know. So yeah. So take it away, Lisa. Back to you.
Yes, I just wanted to show you the dal that I made. Still, um, really a rustic kind of dal, so it's not smooth. There's still some chunks of chana dal in here, some chunks of tomatoes, and I'm just gonna pour this into just so that you can see the consistency.
Yeah.
Of that. I like to be able to feel the texture in my mouth, and not just have it be completely smooth.
Okay.
I like to be able to bite into it as opposed to having some sort of puree. So we've got that. And now for my rice.
What kind of rice?
Which is
Jasmine?
This is just white basmati rice.
Okay.
Because that's what we had. That's what we had available. So I just want to show you all three things together. It's a pretty, I think it's a pretty meal. So you have the green of the okra with the chili peppers popping up. There's a chili pepper right there. The curry leaves, flecks of onion that has caramelized and sweetened up. And the ghee is just distributing throughout the dish with all of the spices.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
That's my meal for Saturday night.
All right. Thank you very much, Lisa, for that.
My pleasure. My camera is like falling.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. I had a comment on the video that we did yesterday, and the comment is coming from, let me just read it out here for you. There was a comment on yesterday's video from a Audley Harrison, which says, I suspect I would prefer to eat, and eat is capital EAT, rather than watch the cooking.
Well, he'll definitely be eating and watching the next time we're together.
Well, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm sure everybody would love to be able to try what you're having, but you know, we're countries apart, so what are we gonna do? So,
well, when we're together again, we'll make sure to make up for it.
Yes. So,
and you can share all of the great things that you've been making, because I've been hearing about those things, and I'm excited to try them as well.
Okay. So, until next time, I guess we'll talk about when next you can do this. And thank you very much. Much appreciated.
My pleasure. Thank you for putting me on your platform, Allison. Thank you.
I mean, man, this is only the beginning. So, all right. So enjoy dinner, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining, or thank you for watching. Click like Allison's page. Subscribe.
Yeah, you're going to get the link so you can share it in your network and stuff like that, so people can see what's happening. So yeah, thank you, Lisa. So that was Lisa doing some dal masala with okras, and it looks pretty good, and we're learning about different foods and the backgrounds of them and the nutritional facts. So Until next time, like, subscribe, and share, and let us know what's going on. What are you trying? What are you eating if you're trying new things? So thank you. This is Allison. Until next time, peace.